All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for game number 2 of your Mystic Lake Epic 1.0 League of Legends Finals. I'm again Steven Surkangas, joined by Culture Gibson, and we're already into picking bands. These teams are ready to go after that under 20-minute victory for Nantucket Derby.
And I'm going to say right now is if I don't see a J4 ban, I might as well leave the building because this game 2 might be a wrap. The way Nan Hunter played that first game on that J4 was a masterclass in playing jungle against the Zac.
Yep.
On a jungle that can be aggressive like the Jarvan the fourth.
Well, the biggest adaptation was taking that electrocute and going for the damage, because I was thinking, oh, where's the tank line for Nantucket Derby?
Exactly.
And they were thinking, we don't need it because we're just going to run them down.
Yeah, if you play aggressive, you play the snowball in your face composition, you don't need a tank because you're going to be ahead from the jump.
Yeah, exactly. No ban yet, as we see Nantucket still on the blue side. They were able to choose the side for game number 2. They want blue side, so they're very happy having this first pick, putting pressure on red side bans, and there's no J4 ban right now. They do ban out the Swain, though, which was missing from St. Cloud Storm's ban last rotation. And, a Zac lock-in now. Interesting.
I mean, it's an interesting pick and ban right now because for St. Cloud, they identified they felt the Swain was the issue and not the J4, so they picked that. And for the side of Nantucket, I feel like they thought that St. Cloud, they're going to have a response to the J4 this time, so we're going to go ahead and take the Zac away from Nightmare Hunter, or is it Nightmare or Night Hunter?
Nightmare.
They're going to take the Zac away.
It says it right there. All right, so
what?
Last game we were helping each other. This game we're just gonna rib each other.
Yeah, now you're just gonna sit here and roast me on.
Yep.
Okay, it's fine, whatever. But if they're taking the Zac away from Nightmare because they don't want to not have an answer like the J4 to it, they're afraid that the J4 will be answered, and they're just gonna go ahead and take that away. You see the Caitlyn Nar coming out for the side of St. Cloud. I have no problem with these picks. Caitlyn Nar both easily a blind pick. Comfortable champions. Caitlyn, the only real counter to her is Ashe, and you don't see Ashe a lot in the bot lane because she can be preyed on easily. The Jinx actually being covered here. Jinx Lu, something we saw early in the tournament, very, very strong lane, very strong harass lane.
And I don't know why Nantucket doesn't just play Camille again. Camille has a great matchup into the Gnar. They're not going to lock it in, so if I'm the side of St. Cloud Storm, you got to ban Camille right now because that gives Gnar a more comfortable pick. He's great into the tanks because he has that range. Sion's pretty fine into him. Orin doesn't struggle too much, but the likes of Cho'Gath can really be harassed. And I would have liked to see that more aggressive top laner again because Zac still can affect a Camille similar to how a J4 does, just with less damage.
Exactly, and if you're Nantucket, you do this because you understand that your top laner has a lot of different champions you can play, and that means that your team has a lot of different flexible team composition they can play. Like you said, the Sion can be played, and with Sion, the great thing about him in the top lane is he's a non-interactive champion. He doesn't really want to fight.
Is that great?
Yeah, I mean, for us it's not because we want to see blood and guts, but for Nantucket, they're like, we just want a top laner that he doesn't really want to do much, just wants to push you in and make plays around the map. That's what Sion does. So that might be what they go for another tank. They're going to want to probably even pick a Protect the Jinx composition. Since she's going to be the hyper carry of this match, you got to protect her. They see the Caitlyn Morgana lane come out as well. Extremely strong lane. So bot lane is going to be just a complete, I won't say clown fiesta because that's a negative term. It's going to be really
depends on who you're
fun.
saying it to.
Exactly.
Because I'm
going to take a term that one of my fellow casters, Doug, likes to use. It's going to be a barn burner.
A barn burner.
In the bottom lane.
What's that other term that we keep using? He keeps using some kind of British term. A
slobber knocker.
Slobber knocker. I don't like that one. It just makes me feel dirty.
Hey, everyone loves a good slobber knocker. We're
we
seeing the rest of the
bands
come out here. We see the LeBlanc. This is the second time I've seen it banned in the entire tournament. LeBlanc, as we know, reverted back to old LeBlanc. Not the one that can two-shot you from over a wall with a distortion, but still extremely powerful. The Shin ban comes out. Well, you had to ban that away from the side of Nantucket. The Jax coming through, a more aggressive pick for St. Cloud. This indicates that they can go two ways. They can try and have this Jax power farm until he gets his Triforce and be a split push threat, or he can have a lot of early gank pressure and want to be more proactive, something that's a lot more powerful early in the game than the Zac.
It was just a Yasuo locked in.
Oh my god.
It could go mid, but I'm assuming that's top to counter the Gnar. I would like to, okay, there we go, a Galio. Like you said, support the Jinx composition. Galio could definitely do this.
Are going for the straight 1v1 in top lane.
Wow.
And this composition is such a wombo combo too because imagine the Astral goes in. He gets a knockup, gets his ultimate. The Galio goes in. He gets a knockup. The Zac goes in. He gets a knockup. And there are 3 different ways. There's the Lulu ultimate, the Zac ultimate, and the Galio ultimate, plus Yasuo's own tornado. There are 4 different ways for Yasuo to get his ultimate off. This is...
And look at how squishy St. Cloud Storm's comp is.
Exactly. They don't really have a true tank on the side of their team. The Malzahar comes in and answers the Galio.
Oh, no.
St. Cloud have kind of put themselves on the back foot. The good news is Malzahar will constantly push in the Galio, so he won't be able to roam. So early game shouldn't be that big of a task for the mid lane. Top lane, Nara's gonna have to play safe. Bottom lane is gonna have to be where their focus comes in. They have to win the 2v2 bottom lane and get this Caitlyn going, because if she doesn't get revved up and ready to roll, then there's gonna be a really tough time for them to find a way in these 5v5 team fights to win these things.
And last time I questioned the team composition that didn't have a single hard tank. They won in under 20 minutes, just last game. So I'm not actually going to question this from St. Cloud Storm. Because you know what? If the trend continues, they're going to win in like 18 minutes now. But it's just going to keep going quicker and quicker.
They're going to have to, it's going to be real hard. It's going to be really hard. Because they have to depend on this Jax getting big early. He's going to have to go in. They're going to have to hope that the Malzahar gets the push, and the bot side of the map, the bottom half of the map has to get the push so that this Jax can go in, look to invade, look to pick on this Zac just like they were picked on last game, look to find himself a lead, and therefore either A, he can take over team fights, or B, he can split push and provide them the relief they need to scale up so the Malzahar can basically full rotation a target, survive team fight, so that Caitlyn can be that late game, mid-late game damage threat for them, and the Gnar can find those great Gnar ultimates to turn a fight, but it's going to be really, really tough for them.
Yeah, you pretty much summed it all up. Tough. That's what St. Cloud Storm's team composition is. It's going to be hard to pull it off. If they can pull it off, they do have a lot of tools, a lot of pick potential with the Malzahar and the Morgana, a lot of burst potential with Caitlyn trapping autos, as well as Jax jumping in there with the Trinity Force. But then really the only target is Jinx, maybe Lulu, and either way they're going to be doing that onto a Lulu ultimate. And Yasuo is then going to be able to ult in. Galio is going to be ulting in. Zac's going to be jumping in from a long range. So this just seems like Nantucket has already drafted such a superior overall composition because they can just do so much more.
Exactly. And if I were, say, the head coach of St. Cloud right now, I'd tell them the best way to win this game is to make the carry so ineffective that it doesn't matter how good their engage is because they can't follow through with any damage output. If the Yasuo is so far behind he can't do any damage, if the Jinx can't do any damage, then it doesn't matter how good your engage is because there's no damage follow-up to go through that. In the Caitlyn, in these elongated team fights, can wail away. The Malzahar can find a target, lock them down, and kill them, and then maybe you win team fights that way. But that's a really hard ask in this composition. But let's think, if St. Cloud can win this game, how much of a pick-me-up, a boost that would be for them in this series to win against such an impossible team composition to fight against would be a really, really big confidence boost going into Game 3.
Definitely would be. And before there, you were just basically explaining every single one of my solo queue games and the mentality I have to have. Doesn't matter if we're 10 kills behind. I just got to smash lane and we'll be fine. I just got to put their AD carry so far behind that me as the Bard support can carry the game.
Win lane, win game. I don't know about Bard support doing it. Maybe Bard AD carry.
Hey, electrocute Bard support.
Bard AD carry?
Get that proto belt. It's dirty, man.
But, that's what that do is win lane, win game. The 2v2 in the bottom lane has to win. It's imperative. Because this Malzahar, unless this Galio oversteps, this Malzahar isn't going to win the lane. He will outpush the Galio, but he won't win the lane. The Gnar, unless this Yasuo is just a bad Yasuo, which you don't lock in Yasuo in this situation playing for.
It's Brent Haugen playing against his own team.
Exactly. And you're playing for a lot of money. You don't lock in a Yasuo to troll right now. So he has to be some good at it. The Gnar is not going to be able to do anything in the top lane. Let's just be real.
The bot lane is a lane that can win. It is Caitlyn Morgana. If a binding lands onto Jinx, yes, Lulu can shield. Yes, can polymorph the Caitlyn. But as long as Caitlyn gets a trap out in time, that Jinx is going to be locked down for a while. Or the Lulu, they can target either one of them. Maybe the Lulu's a better option because then they can't use that polymorph.
Listen,
if the chain CC is
I've never seen a shield alive in this game that can mitigate the damage output from a Caitlyn Morgana when you land the Dark Binding into the trap, into the 90 caliber net, the double headshot, and if you can do it right, the triple headshot. I've never seen a shield alive that can, block that output. Like you said, maybe the polymorph, if she can get close enough of time to even do that. And even then, I believe the black shield does block polymorph anyways.
Would Brahm's shield count?
Maybe
that would stop it all.
Yeah. Maybe Brahm's shield, okay, yeah.
Now we're just getting into semantics, though.
Yep.
The teams are ready. We're loaded into the game. It'll just be a few more seconds until we all have our questions answered as to can St. Cloud Storm pull off this very controversial team composition. I don't know what to call it. But what would you call this composition?
Very out of left field. Very unorthodox.
Sure. Unorthodox. That's a good word.
Exactly.
That's a word we'll roll with.
Yes.
Although they are playing into that Yasuo, which I know Yasuo is a Gnar counter. I know we've seen the likes of Huni play it in NALCS, but I have never seen it played at this level, and I am very excited that in our finals at Mystic Lakes Epic 1.0, we get to see such a hype matchup. So loading in for game number 2. Let's hear from the audience. Who are we rooting for? Make some noise if you're rooting for St. Cloud Storm. Otherwise, make some noise if you're rooting for it. Nantucket.
Do you want to see the 2-0 or do you want to see us go to a game 3? I want to see a spicy series, guys. I want to see us take it to a game 4, even a game 5 if possible. We see both teams. It looked like St. Cloud wanted to try and look for an invade. They want to try and hit a binding to see if they could get a pick, but they couldn't find it. So now just the standard start.
Yep.
But you know what? I'm going to be very forthright, very candid. I have ragged on compositions before this tournament, and there's a composition in particular where I saw Xerath coming out from Nantucket, I believe, where we ragged on it. We were like, can't work, but it's worked before. I mean, it's happened before, so I'm not really surprised per se. But both teams going to do a standard start. Neither one of them, want to try and give up anything big this early.
And for anybody that's on Twitch watching, seems like St. Cloud Storm made a little more noise. Should we do it again? Should we give Nantucket fans a chance to prove their worth? All right, everybody. We're going to let St. Cloud Storm go again. Make some noise if you're rooting for St. Cloud Storm. All right. Now make some noise if you're rooting for Nantucket Derby. All right, cool. There we go.
Yeah.
We have our winner.
Yeah.
Clearly, Nantucket picked it up the second round, and they're able to get a little
everyone
more.
likes the underdog story. Right now, Nantucket is the villain when you have the top laner for St. Cloud leave to go join another team. They're the bad guys right now. So, I mean, it's kind of to be expected as we see the lanes kind of shake out a little bit more. Actually, you know what? It is the Electrocute Galio coming out as well. And that's something you don't usually see in 5v5. You usually see what's it? Not the Earthshot or the Groundbreaker. I'm thinking of a different game right now.
Aftershock?
The Aftershock. There we go. Usually see the Aftershock Galio in 5v5 for the extra tankiness and, extra team fight power.
Ooh.
Instead, we're seeing the lane Galio. We actually see a lot of fighting in the bot lane as well as Jinx. They're just going back and forth 2v2. But I think it's beneficial for the Jinx to be more health than the Caitlyn. Jinx and Lulu now have more lane pressure because Caitlyn only has one pot, which she just had to pop. Which means next fight around, she might not have that region to try and come back in lane.
And that was one of those classic instances where the AD carry was trading with the enemy's support. And generally, that's not worth it because you're just going to lose more health. Oh, early flash from Habib. He had cleanse. I think I would have liked to see him use that more. Kane has to flash also. And Nantucket just winning bot lane and mid lane. Right when we were saying the Caitlyn Morgana should have advantage.
And this is not what you want to see. You don't want to see your Malzahar, who's supposed to have the push, getting bullied out by the Gale. His flash is down, which means that's an easy gank target for the Zac. Jax hasn't been putting any pressure on the Jax so far early this game. Zac will probably most likely go for that mid lane first. The bottom lane, though, could be susceptible as well because Caitlyn doesn't have her flash either. I mean, things are already looking bad for St. Cloud. They're supposed to have the push in both these lanes, and they're losing already.
Zac is bot side. Just giving some support in case Jax is down there, but this is going to allow Nightmare to actually get a cheeky gank mid. There's no vision here from the Galio, and he's not positioned super defensively. Yeah, Nightmare's going to be going in for this no flash from Habib. Oh, body blocks the Justice Punch, but they just don't have enough damage, I don't think, to actually threaten feed my Nantucket. Yeah, he's completely comfortable right now.
Yeah. They can't follow through, and that's why Galio's, I like to call him like the mid lane version of Sion when you're not playing mid Sion, where
when you're not playing the Sion mid.
Unless, like we saw earlier, where the Malzahar was mispositioned, therefore getting bullied, he doesn't really want to fight you. He also wants to just push you in so he can roam around the map. So he's tanking up to deal with these ganks 2v1. He just walks away from it. Now you've wasted a lot of time, and now Zac's on his bomb side could look for a gank in the bottom half of the map. We would be remiss in not mentioning it's a Mountain Drake first. And if you're Nantucket, this would be a great denial. It'd be good to have two because Jinx does have some siege pressure, but it'd be a great denial from this Caitlyn, who is the quintessential siege AD carry.
Yeah, options for Nan Hunter at the moment right now on this Zac. I have mentioned a couple times now this tournament, I'm a big fan of Zac's putting pressure mid when there's a low mobility mid laner. Against the likes of a Malzahar, it's not too hard for a Galio to get rid of that black shield or that passive shield just with one of his Winds of War. And then if Zach's able to go in once that shield's down, we know that Habib doesn't have Flash. He still has Cleanse, but they're still going to have to deal with that knockup from the Zach, the Elastic Arms as well. And then he can cleanse the Shield of Duran from Galio, but I feel like they can do enough damage, especially with his Electrocute, to actually kill this Malzahar. Maybe some action bots at MK Bones. There's the Ignite on him. No heal used yet from Kane, but Flash from MK Bones. Yeah, this Jinx and Lulu are getting hyper aggressive right now.
And we thought that Caitlyn Morgana was an oppressive lane. The poke coming out from this Jinx Lulu right now, she is up over 10 CS on this Caitlyn, having them completely pushed in all the time. And that just allows Zach, and this is with a Doran shield. This is with a Doran shield, man. Like, it's not like she's taking Blade looking for the trade. She's killing them with a Doran shield. This allows Zach to farm his top side of the jungle comfortably, look for ganks in the top side of the map. And like you said, in the mid lane, I'm a big fan of that too. Once you pop that passive on the Malzahar, yes, he has cleanse, but you can only cleanse so much of the engage from a Galio and a Zach. So look, it'd be pretty remiss seeing how Nanhunter's been playing this entire series if he didn't go mid lane eventually to try and exploit that.
Actually, both junglers going mid, it looks like. Potentially catching each other in the jungle. Not going to happen. Zach is positioning here. They know Jax is nearby, though. Let's see if they actually do anything. They're pinging the Dragon because they know Jax is on his Raptors. That could be cheeky because the Jinx and Lulu have been pushed all game. They can just peel off and go get that Dragon with the help of the Galio. So like you said, this Dragon could just be a free pickup right now if you're the side of Nantucket. Oh, the Bitey just barely missing. That could have been a kill maybe on Zor.
That minion block, you hate to see it, but you're right. This could be...
Galio's going for a potential dive. Look at how low Kane is. He still has heal, but no flash. They sense it, though. And
they
actually had
great vision in that tri-bush. So they realized, hey, they might try and collapse us in this bomb side of the map. The Dragon is there. They had the push. So that's smart by St. Cloud, realizing they have to back away. They're still not fully gone yet, but they know that their jungler is now on this side of the map as well as the Malzahar. So he's there for it. In the top lane, though.
Taking the 1v1, he has the
flash!
Repeat after me, but the flash from Brent Haugen. I think he's going to lose the 1v1 as Gnar takes up first blood, outplaying the Yasuo. Wow.
What a play there. If Yasuo lands that tornado, then that either A, allows him to possibly get the kill. At the very least, he escapes. What a great flash from the Gnar, realizing he had to reposition out of that way to complete the kill. And that relieves so much pressure off this Gnar because now he has the onus lane. He has the push advantage. He should be able to come back. He's already bought his Phage, already bought his Bomby Cinder. He's going to be able to do so much in this lane against the Yasuo right now.
And keep in mind, Brent Haugen jumped ship from this team. So he's playing against his replacement on St. Cloud Storm. And repeat after me, he's got to be feeling pretty good, thinking, yep, my team made the right decision bringing me on for this tournament.
That feels so bad if you're getting 1v1 by your replacement. I mean, come on, bro. Get good, I guess. But
that's one way to put it.
The good news for the side of Nantucket is while the Yasuo... actually, my bad. I got the champions mixed up. The Gnar flash, he's going to walk back to lane and have that TP. He's had a TP advantage the entire time because I believe that Yasuo took... did he take a TP? No, he did take TP. Either way, they're taking a Dragon right now because it's free for the side of St. Cloud. My point is now that I realize... Oh, my God.
Nightmare almost getting taken down.
Extremely
Zach is in the neighborhood.
They're
peeling off the Dragon because Zach can just jump in and
smite.
The Dragon gets the kill. Nightmare's there, but he doesn't have smite. But unfortunately, they don't know that. Finally comes up. Manhunter does smite it away. And that was questionable at best from Nightmare right there.
Feels bad, man. That feels so bad. The rocket right there is extremely clutch because it puts the question in mind, should we finish this? If they had juggled it correctly, they could have finished it and walked away, but it put the doubt in their minds. We're going to see a 1v1 again in the top lane. This Gnar taking advantage of the lead he's accrued. We're going to move back down.
He has his ultimate available. He's looking for it on Brent Haugen. Actually gets the open, not the stun afterward. Brent Haugen might just be able to take this fight. Has his ultimate as well. Misses it, but can he get the knockup out of the Gnar? But no, we want to watch bot lane, I guess. Still happening topside.
TP
coming
in,
through from
it was
Malzahar to deter Brent Haugen. So no TP for Habib anymore. Galio's up there, has ultimate available. Brent Haugen might want to get aggressive here. Galio's can be spotted by this ward.
This is the combo we were talking about.
They're going for it. Flash forward with the shield of Duran. They get the taunt, but repeat after me just jumps away. Brent Haugen once more. He gets the knockup. He gets the ultimate. Galio coming through, keeping him safe. Can he get the Goomba stop? Feed by Nantucket gets a kill, but here's Jax coming in on that gank. They might just turn it around. He flashes forward to get on to Brent Haugen. Is able to get the kill with Habib coming up as well. Flash and ult available on this Malzahar. They're trying to trap the Galio, but now Jax is caught out by two members, and Malzahar cannot help him. Wow! Nantucket again pull it off and win that fight.
And they went in. They didn't have a wave to really complete that dive, so it was already a risk. And while they did get the kill eventually, they still gave up way more. Once again, that Yasuo is that he didn't even get a kill for it. He doesn't have TP, he doesn't have flash. He's going to have to walk all the way back to lane. And now this Gnar can make a play on the bomb half because he has TP, so he can go wherever he wants.
TP to the dragon. He's going for a gank right here. Look at Kane, though, taking a lot of damage. He actually might just take the 2v2. Oh, it misses. They get Zor, though. I don't even know if Repeat After Me got an assist for that. But TP used. Now they rotate the Malzahar top. They're probably going to... Yep, Gnar's back in. So they're going to have him go top eventually, but at least Malzahar is picking up this wave so they don't get pushed in.
Exactly, and I believe he did get an assist for it, but either way, that's great for them that the fact they can commit Repeat After Me down to the bomb half the map. He didn't have to... Oh, he did use TP, but he did it to get... I think he used TP to get down there eventually, so he did have to commit TP, but the Jinx actually just took the first turret of the game. She's going in more for Morgana.
Why did Kane back there?
Yeah.
He was low, but I think that they could still have just farmed that out. Maybe kept Gnar down there because Habib can be fine in that top side.
Exactly.
Send the Jax mid to farm that and maybe try to make a play on that Jinx, but instead they just give up first turret. And this is really good for Nantucket, being way ahead in tempo.
I mean, but that's the fear of Zac, though. They didn't know where the Zac was on the map initially. He could have roamed down there and tried to press him at the turret. And the AD carry for St. Cloud, Kane was extremely low. So all it would take was literally just an elastic slingshot in, and he's dead, and that ends your tower push. So they backed off out of fear. But like you said, I would have rather see them still try and risk it for that biscuit because they gave over kills. The kills that they gave over was an even trade, and they gave over first turret blood. So Nantucket still comes out ahead in this trade. They're up 2,000 gold now, and it looks like it might be just deja vu or a repeat of game number 1.
Well, probably not as fast as that last game because they don't have a crazy early game focus. But the fact that this Jinx leaves lane with 30 CS up and a kill does not bode well for the Caitlyn in the late game.
Not at all. Not at all. This Jinx, if she hits her power spike before the Caitlyn does this early, that spells a lot of trouble in these 5v5s, which we already knew was going to be an issue for them. St. Cloud's done a great job mitigating their losses and doing their best to try and make sure everything stays close. But actually, the Malzahar might be caught out here in the jungle.
Ultimate on the Malzahar is available, and here's the Let's Bounce flashed away from Habib. So they get that summoner spell down, and now they can maybe look to take this Rift Herald if they push out mid. Oh, there's the Jax, there's Justice Pawns followed up by the Shield of Durin. They're trying to get the taunt, trying to get the chain CC, but here's Malzahar and Morgana coming through. There's the Black Shield keeping them alive. Suppression is in onto Zac. They get the passive TP coming from Yasuo. Not onto the Zac, so they're not keeping him safe. There's a wind wall, though, trying to help out his jungler. Can Nantucket turn this one around? They do save their Zac, but they can't turn around to fight. There's Ace in the hole being blocked up by Brent Haugen.
Galio and Yasuo have ultimate. If they want to, they could wait for Zac to reach it and try and turn a fight here in the mid lane. They have the power to do so.
Zac still, though, not quite at that level where he has the extra health regen from Warmogs. But still, flash forward, Repeat After Me. Doesn't get the wall up afterward, but there's a Galio ultimate coming through. They get the knockup, they get the Yasuo ultimate, they get 2 kills right away, make it 3, and it looks to be a clean ace potentially if they can get Habib. There's the zone, here's a rather stopwatch coming out from the Malzahar, and that's a quadra kill for Feed by Nantucket. I don't think he can get it. Yep, he's got to back away. He wants it. He wants it so bad, he's going to need his team.
Don't play with our emotions.
And if I'm MK Bones, I'm just going to back away right now because you don't want to get over a pentakill during the finals. And that was huge from Nantucket right there.
And that's a 6-0 Galio right now. That's the combo we talked about right there. Look at that gold difference in the mid lane. It's about 2.4k gold. The bottom lane as well has almost 2,000 gold up on their lane opponent. The gold is astronomical. Even in the top lane where the Yasuo is 0-2 and 6
every single player
almost 1,000 gold lead right now. That fight was astronomical. You saw the power and how that gold translated. The combo that we all feared in the pregame came through right there. It turned the fight completely around, and now Nantucket can look to snowball that game. We're 14 minutes and 30 seconds in the game, and I know you said it's not going as fast as the last game, but who knows, you know?
Honestly, when you have a 6-0-0 Galio, yes, it could end very quickly. At least those kills didn't go on Jinx, because if Jinx had gotten a quadra kill there, I would say, yep, it's probably ending in under 20 minutes, because look at her build already. Rune Answer Hurricane plus the BF sword. and she's just out of control.
Right, and Dragon's coming up, and look at the vision control from the side of Nantucket. St. Cloud can't see anything around this Dragon pit right now. They have all the river control if you're Nantucket. They're going to go ahead and start up this Drake, and there's nothing that St. Cloud can do about it. You can't challenge. You're just going to give it back over. They're just going to have to mitigate their losses, try and farm up, push up waves, and try and reset the map right now. But it's so difficult. The Yasuo already has his Phantom Dancer working toward that Infinity Edge. A Rift Herald is a next objective they want to look for as well. The Runan's Hurricane for the Jinx. She didn't go for the Infinity Edge first, which we see a lot of AD carriers do, just rush IE. She goes for the Runan's first. But that's fine when you have 3 different people on your team that are big enough to carry.
And when they're team fighting this early in the game, because Runan's with those rockets is going to do a lot of damage even without that Infinity Edge. Rift Herald being started up, taken so fast by the side of Nantucket. They've gotten every single objective. No turrets lost. They've given up 3 kills, so it's not a perfect game. But they're looking to have a perfect objective-controlled game.
And I believe the Lulu had enough gold where she's going to go back and buy that Ardent Sensor. So now they're going to be fully ready for a 5v5 team fight. While if you're St. Cloud actually engaged in the mid lane.
Justice Punch is actually body blocked. I think this is a caught-out Galio. They're just chaining the CC. I don't know if they needed that Nether Grasp at the end, but they do shut down the Galio. So now 6-1. That's going to buy a little bit of time, but there's no objectives. Dragon was just taken. Rift Herald was just taken. They can't even push a turret with this.
And look how much they gave up to get that kill. They used the Soul Shackles. They used the Nether Grasp. And so now Galio's going to be up in 15 seconds, and all of Nantucket have all their ultimates. So next team fight, it's basically almost an assured Nantucket win unless someone missteps and makes another mistake. You don't have any of your key ultimates to lock down targets to make that team fight happen, except for the Gnar ultimate, but that's really, really, really skill dependent based on can repeat after me find a good 3-4 man ult.
It's not a good feel when getting a pick actually puts you further behind.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what it feels like right now. As Nantucket are just so far ahead right now, have so much control. Nightmare might be getting caught out here. Brent Haugen trying to get that damage, but just can't get in there with a Zac.
Yeah, and that was more of them trying to disengage right there. They saw the collapse coming in from the Yasuo, and he used the counter-strike to get away.
Oh, and almost has ult again. They land the binding. They get the Caitlyn traps. Here's Nightmare as well. Let's Bounce trying to carry the team over. Zac has passive. There's the Lulu ultimate. Followed up by Galio. Goomba stomping Nightmare one more time.
Oh my god, the damage.
Cleans up 2 more for Nantucket. That's another double kill going over to feed my Nantucket. And this Galio is out of control. This has got to be a mid-inhib. Maybe even more. They're looking for repeat after me. They get him into the turret. There's a follow-up, and there's so much CC. He's dead as well. A clean ace for Nantucket Derby. They're going to get their objectives, and they are going to back off again. This is kind of close to that time last game where I questioned, can they end? As a team, they decide no.
Not yet. St. Cloud, they're going to be smart. The Caitlyn, if I'm Gnar, I don't even know why you stick around there because now your death timers are staggered. So now there's not much you can even do if another objective comes out. Even if you're trying to stop a push from the side of Nantucket, you can't even stop that because your death timers are staggered. Now they're going to go back and once again buy up, and things are just snowballing once again out of control. 2 Mountain Drakes, 11-4 in kills. The goalie is reaching 10,000, and we haven't even hit the 20-minute mark. Baron will be up soon. This might be another game clinched for the side of Nantucket.
It definitely feels like that right now. And look at the time on the clock. We're just approaching 18.5 minutes, so it's not going to be quite as fast as last game, but in similar form. Let's put it that way, because they definitely are in the driver's seat with such a gold lead. Supers pushing mid. If they win another team fight like last game, they win the game with those supers in the mid lane.
And you have to wonder, is this great execution from the side of Nantucket, or is it St. Cloud not being proactive with their competition? They knew they'd have to find an early lead in one of these lanes, and they just didn't do it. The Jax, it wasn't even like he was harassing his jungle. He could have looked for early invades, looked to steal camps, looked for ganks around the map. He just didn't really look for it. He chose to go the route of just farming up, and the rest of his map was punished for it.
Well, I think it's all about this bot lane. We talked about it a lot right away, and we kind of forgot about it once this Galio just started popping off. But if Caitlyn and Morgana hadn't gotten put so far behind, these black shields would have been helping a lot if Morgana could have gotten out of lane, could have roamed around the map, but instead they lost lane. They were forced to stay bot side for so long, and this Caitlyn is just so far behind Jinx right now. It's a little comical.
And that's where Nightmare has to come in. You know you have to facilitate this lane to win. Why not throw a gank down there, sneak into a lane bush, or even go for just a straight up 3v2 and try and find a fight? At least give them a push so they can start to snowball that lead in the bot lane. He didn't do any of that. And you saw Brinhausen as we see them go ahead and start this push on the top lane. I don't know if they can even really do anything about the traps have come out and might stall them out. But they're just going to keep rotating around the map as 4-5 because they're a death ball composition. You're not going to see them. The Yasuo might split push, but he has TP, so he can instantly join a team fight if things start to go south and turn around with the Galio ult again.
And he's got Infinity Edge Phantom Dancer, so who's going to go 1v1 the Yasuo? I don't think this Nara can do that right now.
Too. It's not even like he went off. He's 0-2-9, but another fight in the jungle, and there's that TP
coming through. This trying to join in with the Nara. Let's Bounce carried over one of the carries, and they're immediately going in onto him. Nightmare's jumping off the back like it's a 3-man stun, flashes away. He's just trying to buy time, but Brenhaugen just walks up. Doesn't even need to use the teleport, so that's one down for the side of St. Cloud Storm. Can they hold off the assault from Nantucket? Super's in the mid again. Now Nantucket looking to get this top lane. They don't want to end quite yet. They want to play it safe and get another inhibitor.
And like you said, buy time, but buy time for what? It might be a little too late. The rest team was able to reset the fight, but now the rest of Nantucket will continue to push this top side of the map. It's a 4v5. They can try and lay down traps to stop the siege, but either you lose the push on the top lane turret, inhibitor turret, and you give it up, or if Baron's just spawned, you're going to give up Baron for basically free.
I think that if I'm Nantucket, I'm just going to look at this Baron right now. There's not going to be any contest coming in from the side of St. Cloud Storm. Or if there is, you just win that fight, and then you take the Supers mid, and you win the game there. So either way, they can get this.
And there's an Infernal Drake, and Yasuo is going to look to take that by himself on the bomb half of the map, which just opens things up more. The fact he doesn't have to dedicate his team going down there to take that means they can pressure both objectives. And while it is telegraphed that the Baron is the next thing for St. Cloud, what can they really do about it right now? The Yasuo didn't even have to use his teleport. He can just join the team. I mean, they have a ward down here, right? But even if the Gnar doesn't have TP, but even if he has TP by the time the fight comes up, what can he do? He finds a 3-4-man Gnar ultimate. This Caitlyn still only has her static shiv. The Malzahar is probably your most damage-dealing member on the team right now with the Luden's Echo. Other than that, you don't have any damage to follow up on these fights. Nantucket already setting up for it. And I feel like St. Cloud just has to kind of give this one up for free. It's almost like 6 in one hand, half a dozen the other. Either you try and take the fight and most likely lose the fight at Baron unless you find a Miracle Steal, or you find a Miracle Steal and you still lose the fight at Baron and you die.
Yep. And Nightmare might be getting spotted out here, actually. Zach doesn't have
They're going to look for him right
engage. They're trying to get slows with the Lulu. They're jumping over the wall. There's the shield of Dura. Can he land the taunt? Not quite going to go there. And the Caitlyn trap, not enough, actually, as there's the Zoni's Hourglass coming out for Feud. My Nantucket flashes away with the Lulu ult. That was a lot used for a Galio walking a little too far forward.
Another death push.
Is the Gnar, has ultimate available, but there's a Galio ultimate going to land onto so many members, and Nantucket are just running away with this fight. Double kill on Galio. Can they give him the Penta this time? I don't think the team's going to give it to him, as Nantucket get another clean ace and just stomp St. Cloud Storm for the second game in a row. Ladies and gentlemen, this is unprecedented right now.
And you have to give a little bit of props to repeat after me there, stopping the full Yasuo ultimate with the Gnar ultimate, but when Galio still can come through and lay down so much damage with his ultimate, it almost doesn't matter. If you're St. Cloud, you're on the road right now, you don't know what you can do because Nantucket continues to show they can play these diverse compositions, and it's really hard to stop that in draft. I mean, it all starts at draft, but when you can't stop them at draft, I mean, what can you do?
It almost feels less of stopping them at draft and more that you can draft a team for a specific purpose, but then you have to actually use it for that purpose. You can draft a team like the Caitlyn Morgana, but then you should win lane, and you should not lose lane to a Jinx Lulu. This might just be a skill issue of the bot lane, because we've seen, I can't think of a much stronger lane that should be able to win
than Caitlyn
in the Caitlyn Morgana. I mean, Lulu can mitigate that a little with the shields and the polymorphs, but yeah, just look at this damage here. And that Galio, full AP.
Doing all the damage on his
the most damage in the game.
Something you don't usually hear is a Galio doing the most damage in the game, but he was so pivotal in these fights. I mean, and to your point, it could be a skill issue. And another point I want to bring up that we talked and heard about, and I had a concern about St. Cloud, was the fact that teams weren't challenging them to play different compositions.
Yeah.
And now they're being put in a spot where, because Nantucket has side selection, they are now forced to diversify. St. Cloud's forced to diversify the way they play because some of their picks aren't available because they're not on that blue side.
St. Cloud Storm hasn't gotten Swain yet. They haven't gotten Xayah yet. They haven't gotten Braum yet. Those are champions that they love to play, and we've seen them play throughout the whole tournament yesterday. And for finals, unfortunately, they're not able to get that comfort composition, but we still have another game, hopefully more coming up here, so don't touch that browser. Don't get out of your seats. If If you need a stretch and walk around, feel free. But make sure you're back before the next game starts because we're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere.